Hey, welcome back to the show, Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. This is our special edition as we wrap up this hour of the program with one of my favorite people, and look, one of my favorite chiropractors, and soon will be yours as well, especially if you go by and you talk to Mr. Tom Polucki. Look, you know that this show is a personal show. That's what I tell you it's about. You know, we do 2 shows a year, last week and this week, and it's Arif's Top 14 of 2014, and one of my favorite of all times is Mr. Tom Polucki. Dr. Polucki, tell me about you as a chiropractor. What makes you different? And I'm going to share a little bit about what you did in my life, but what makes you different?
Well, I don't limit myself to what most people think chiropractic is, whatever that may be to, their personal experience, what they've heard about things. We don't do any twisting or cracking.
Yeah, and I think that's what a big misconception is in the world of chiropractic, is a lot of people think they're going to jump around and twist you and drop, and that is not what you do.
Well, it's okay that they think that, because 90% of the time that is what's going to happen. There are a handful of people out there who don't do that,
yeah.
But the overwhelming majority, if you go from chiropractic office to chiropractic office and you had a blindfold on, you probably wouldn't know the difference between the experience between the doctors. And I have a critical mind, and when I was going through school, I didn't really get that, having your neck twisted until something cracked in there every time you came, regardless of what condition you came in with, or why you were there, or how old you were, was the answer to every problem. I never got that.
What you did, I have a son who had some chronic issues, and we had Vayu Yoga on earlier, and she really made a difference in his life from the physical activity. But I think it began with you and your office as well, because he had to get out of that difficult part of his life and get to a place where he could he could be active, and that started with you. So much so that after a while of him being treated by you, I went. And I had a shoulder, and folks, let me tell you, I pulled a rotator cuff, it was torn. No fun, if you know what that's like. I was 2 days away from surgery. And, surgery number, who knows, whatever, after all my big car accident and surgeries. 2 days away. And I said, you know what, there has to be a different way. I don't know, I didn't know anything about it. The MRI showed a big tear. But, of course, a brain surgeon wants to do brain surgery. A shoulder surgeon or orthopedic surgeon wants to do shoulder surgery. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pause for a little bit. I'm going to see what I can do. And so for 3 or 4 years, I would go from pretty bad pain to really, really bad pain, and kind of just in between there for my shoulder. I'd have a few days that were nice, but sleeping on it, etc. You own the shoulder. Tell me what you did. I don't know. How did you become the shoulder guy? Because my shoulder is amazing now.
Well, thank you. First of all, it starts with my background as far as my educational background, which is a little bit different than most chiropractors, but I won't spend too much time on there. It's not what a doctor knows, it's whether they're able to help you or not. So the real answer is, I had a shoulder problem.
Sure.
I had a real bad shoulder problem that almost took me out of the profession. That I walked around for nearly a year, and it felt like there was literally a knife in my back. No matter what, whether I was sleeping, whether I was sitting at dinner, whether I was trying to do something or not, a constant knife in my back. And I'd seen the specialists, and none of them really had any great options for me. And I was considering surgery as well. And then I did the research, and I found out that it's not an answer for the overwhelming majority of people.
It's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, so you're going through all of that drama, and you got about a 50-50 chance of being any better at all. I didn't like that. So I suffered. I suffered for nearly a year of nonstop, real high-level pain, and I didn't know what to do. I'd actually stopped practicing and started teaching, and that's part of the difference in my background. I taught at 2 different universities, and I was always investigating what are the options available out there to try and handle these kind of conditions that don't typically respond to anything out there. I got some things, I kind of picked and chose between the wheat and the chaff, so to speak, of what really worked and what didn't. And then I started experimenting on myself and having, going to other doctors and saying, well, just tried this. I learned this thing last week. I want to see if, and it evolved to a real specific formula that it takes a few minutes.
Look, guys, from backs to shoulders, Dr. Polucki, located on Lyons Avenue at Peachland, right in that medical buildings right in the back there, has really made a difference in the lives of people with chronic pain. You have pain. Look, if you live, you have pain, whether it's temporary or chronic. It could be your back, your knees, your shoulder, your hip. You know what it is. Give it a chance. I have been to, I can't tell you how many physical therapists and doctors, and most of them did something. Sometimes it was temporary pain, sometimes it was 6 months. And pain relief, I should say. And the pain relief sometimes lasted 6 months, maybe a little longer, but it always came back. And part of the lifestyle changes that are necessary and the holistic approach, you guys have a different approach in your office.
Yeah, very different.
The staff, so from the moment you walk in the door, you have an informed group of people. And besides, it's a pretty cool environment. It's kind of nice and relaxing. But everybody seems to care about you. I don't know if they're faking it, but they're doing a really good job because they really do care about you. At least you feel like that.
Yeah, that is our purpose. Our purpose is to help as many people as possible. And
you walked in from a shoulder, but I don't even want you to think just shoulder, because from a knee to a back, you're going to have ankle issues. From my son's life, if you make a difference in my kid's life, you change my life, because there's no reason in the world people should go through with chronic pain, whether it's a bad day or in my case, it was a big car accident in 1994 that, I still pay for on occasion, folks. It's not an easy life to have a big injury. To go from full activity, black belt in martial arts. I've fought in countless full contact tournaments before they were ever, cool. And that's what we did and teaching since I was 15 or 16 years old and now you can't do anything. There's head games that get played with you as well. You go from very active to not. Tom, Dr. Polucki, I should say, how do you guys really get in there and deal with that for people?
Starts off with asking the right questions. I think we spent probably more time than most doctors did just asking you, what does this mean to you? What are your goals? What are your outcomes? What are you really looking to achieve? What have you tried? What seemed to help some? What didn't work some? And then we go in and look at the specific problem, regardless of what it is. Some people come with a neck. Some people come with headaches. Some people come with vertigo. Some people come with sciatica. They've been told that I have many people who are actually scheduled for surgery, and they come to me as a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm getting surgery next week with the world-renowned specialist. I just thought I might ask your opinion on this.
Dr. Polucki, you helped my dad at the last minute, an 80-year-old man who couldn't walk, and he drove from the valley, came up, and he did that for my dad. He can do the same thing for you or for your family. Contact Dr. Polucki.